Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host. One second here. I changed the microphone. There we go. There we go. Now I'm coming in loud and clean and crispy. This is a late show for the people that's catching it live on Facebook and the premiere on YouTube. I just got through doing my show out in Hawaii, so y'all stay tuned to that. That'll be out tomorrow. But today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, we are tuned in. The airline stocks have taken flight. The airline stocks are taking off, and they are going to a new destination. Where they're going, I'm not sure, but they're going up for the time being. And you may ask yourself, Prince, is it too late for me to get on board? Is it too late for me to get a ticket? As you guys and girls know, ladies and gentlemen, I have spoke about airline stocks a few times in the past, and airline stocks faced a lot of scrutiny when Berkshire Warren Buffett left. But in this video today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about that takeoff of the airline stocks. We're going to talk about companies going bankrupt, and we're going to talk about who's going to last. And what do I think? Is it too late to buy a ticket to get on board? Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that this is just my opinions. This is not financial advice telling you what to do. I definitely would recommend you consult a professional. I don't want you to call me back in a year from now saying, oh, you told me about Southwest Airlines and it's the worst thing in the world. No, this is a financial literacy show. I'm just taking what's happening in the world with putting my spin on it. That's it. In the world of finance, to be exact. Well, we got a very interesting time going on in the country. You know, we got cities on fire. We got pandemic running rampant. We also got an election coming up, and we don't even know if the country's going to be open next month. So it's a very interesting time. Usually brings an interesting time to invest. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, airline stocks have gone up 50% in the last 30 days. And when I say 50% in the last 30 days, I'm going off of the ETF JETS. That's JETS, which tracks the airline industry, the major airline industry stocks. So that thing has gone up 30%, 50%, over 50% in the last 30 days. Airline stocks have been taking off. Get it? Take off planes, airlines taking off. Huh? Anybody? No, probably not. Okay, but anyway, they're taking off, and people wonder, Prince, is it too late? Because everybody loves to buy things when they're high. Nobody wants to buy low and sell high, do they? We say that, but it's when things are low, the news is very bad, right? I even got scared when Berkshire and Warren Buffett left. He said he's going to sell all his airline stocks. I got a little nervous. The stock crashed about 10, 15%. It was down for a while. I bought a little bit while it was down, but I was a little nervous, right? But what made me steal my horses? Because I read the finances. I knew the finances. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's first go and talk about this takeoff. What made it take off? The first thing we're going to jump into, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be very aware of. You got to know where the money is going, and you got to know the rules of the money game. And the rules of the money game is written by Congress in something called monetary policies. Monetary policies. These are policies. These pretty much policies that are dictating money, who gets it, and how they're going to get it, and what benefits the government is going to get back. Prince, what I got to do to the airline industry? If you pay attention to the airline industry, you know the airline industry was bailed out by the federal government. That's a monetary stimulus to a private company. When they got bailed out, that's when it automatically turned my head to it and said, ooh, it might be an opportunity. I might want to buy. So let's talk about that deal. Let me pull it up here. Let's talk about that deal. I wrote this about a month ago. And here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. In return for receiving the relief fund, the U.S. government can purchase 2.6 million shares of Southwest Airlines for $34 within the next 5 years. As Southwest Airlines go at $34, the U.S. government profits. Now here's another one. The government can buy 6.5 million shares of Delta Airlines for $24.39 over the next 5 years. The government will profit if Delta Airlines goes over $24 within the next 5 years. Take a wild guess, ladies and gentlemen. Both of those companies are definitely in the green for the federal government. That's called monetary policies. When the government gave them their bailout money, the government said, hey, I'm going to issue warranties and say, hey, I can buy your stock. Because think about it. Southwest Airlines was $20-something when they bailed them out. Delta Airlines, I think, was in the teens when they bailed them out. And the government said, hey, if I bail you out, I get to buy your stock for $24 in the future, $34 in the future, or whatnot. That was like ding, 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 ding. The federal government, who has an unlimited checkbook that's backed by the military, I always tell people I think the money is backed by the military. They have just got behind a company, wrote them a big check $3 billion for Southwest. I think it was like $5 billion for Delta. I don't know about the other companies. They got these billions of dollars, and then the government will profit if they go over a certain price of stocks. I said, you know what? It might be time for me to get a ticket. Southwest was only like 20 something bucks. Delta was only like a couple bucks. I went with Southwest Airlines. Now, before I get any further, let's see who's saying something live. Brandon Henderson said, "Man, I love this show. Appreciate it, Brandon Henderson. I think he's out there in where you at? You got in Japan. Japan. All right, what's going on, Brandon? Christopher John, what's going on? He coming in. Christopher Johnson said, "Hey, UAL will win. I think that's United Airlines. He said they will win. I don't think they're going to win. Well, they might win. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I'm going with. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into something real quick. In the airline industry, there will be some bankruptcies. This is a late show. That's why I got the blue screen behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid to tell you somebody's going bankrupt. I don't know who. I don't know how. The guys I think that's going to go bankrupt, I think it's going to be a smaller guy. That's why I went with Southwest. Southwest is the largest airline industry according to market cap in the industry, right? It was Southwest, some other airline overseas, and then it was Delta. So it was like Delta and Southwest was the top two big boys. The likelihood of the big dog going bankrupt, probably not. Probably a smaller guy, somebody like a Spirit or whoever else, a little small guy. They're major, but they're small. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to go bankrupt. So why do I think they're going to go to bankrupt? Because guess what? When times get hard, the small guys go first. Hate to say it, but it's the world, right? The little guy's always going to finish last. Small guy's going to finish last. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be surprised if we saw some bankruptcy somewhere in the airline industry, and I think it's going to be one of the smaller guys, just like Hertz. Hertz was in the rental car industry. Notice Enterprise was like number one, and I think followed by Budget. Avia's Budget was like number two, and so I think Hertz actually owned Dollar and some other rental cars. They all went bankrupt. They were those little guys on the block. When things get hard, the little guys go on the block, go first. That's why I always go for the top dogs. I go for the big guys first because the likelihood of Apple going in a technology sector, the likelihood of Apple disappearing versus, I don't know, who's a small technology company. I can't think of any, but of a small technology company out there, they have a better chance of going uh, bankrupt. So that's why I don't jump on all of the smaller guys. I go with the bigger guys because I feel there's going to be some bankruptcies going down. So a lot of what we're seeing today is our number one monetary policies help stimulate, help back up. Guess what? The government said we're going to give you money. Now you don't have to pay dividends. So the company no longer they can't pay dividends until September next year. So all that money they was paying in dividends is now back into the company. And then the government gave them money, so they can't lay anybody off until September. And I think September's going to come around. I don't think we might be in the air, but I don't think we're going to be in the air like we're supposed to. And I think we're going to see some bankruptcy by the little guys. That's why I don't mess with the little guys. So now the question is, Prince, who will last? Who's going to make it to the end? Who's going to make it to the finish line? Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about growing, it's about lasting. It's about just lasting to the end. Three things are going to happen to a company in the downtime. Either it's going to go away, it's going to survive, or it's going to expand. So right now, sometimes it's about surviving in the downtime. Because if you can just survive to the other end, a lot of other companies are going to get washed out. This happens everywhere you go, right? So who will last? I think the companies with a high pile of cash and a low amount of debt that is managed properly, they're going to last. Since the airline industry, all of them got debt, all of them got planes that are parked. They need fuel. Good thing about fuel is pretty low. But even though they need fuel and things like that, I think the big companies will last the longest. And I think the big companies are going to eat up the little guys. Somebody's going to be merging and somebody's going to be going bankrupt. I would not be surprised. I think a big company is going to come through, maybe like a Southwest or a Delta. They're going to come in and buy out somebody else, merge with somebody. I would not be surprised. I don't think Southwest and Delta can merge because of monopoly, but I think Southwest can go down there and grab maybe a Spirit who's maybe just barely hanging on, maybe a JetBlue or whoever else is a little guy who just could be making it. Just like in the telecommunication industry, you have Verizon, then you had AT&T, then you had T-Mobile, then you had Sprint at the bottom hanging on. There was plenty of times AT&T tried to buy T-Mobile. They wouldn't let it happen. Then I know AT&T tried to buy not T-Mobile. AT&T tried to buy Sprint. They wouldn't let it happen. Then I think one time AT&T tried to buy T-Mobile, but it was going to be too big. So guess what? The two little guys got together. So I won't be surprised if two little guys got together. But something's going to happen. Some bankruptcy and mergers are going to be going on in the airline industry that I believe. And the guys that's going to last are the ones with the big bank. So now you ask yourself the question, Prince, man, is it okay? These things are taking off. Is it too late to get a ticket? Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to go back to what I first stated: monetary policies. The government has its hand in it. The government has its hand in Southwest Airlines success. I won't say its hand, but it has a dog in the fight. The more Southwest Airlines go back up to its original price of its post pandemic price of $60, the more the federal government is going to benefit. So yes, I think there's still some opportunities there. Same thing with Delta. As long as Delta stays over $24, the government not when the government exercises its warranties, then I'll be worried. But those monetary policies, sometimes you got to look who's backing people. Sometimes let's think about it, right? Some people listening to the music and they're like, "Oh, this guy music is not that good." But guess what? If he's backed up by a major record label, his music is going to be. You wonder why he's successful? Because guess what? He got some big backing. I'm backed by CNN. I'm backed by Fox. I'm backed by whoever the case may be. Not me in particular, but I'm saying you're going to have a bigger microphone. You're going to have more backing. You're going to have more people to help you be successful. And the more people that's going to help you be successful, we all know that. If you worked in a professional environment, if you worked in a corporate environment, you know backing is everything. Even in business, if a business is fine until you can't pay back until the bank stop believing in you, unless you got the money and the capital. But most companies, once they lose their financing, there goes the dream. So right now, the government still has a dog in the fight, and Delta has a dog in the fight. When they got that bailout, and I read the stipulations of that bailout in their quarterly reports, that's when I jumped into it, and I just rolled with the money of Southwest. Southwest was the best financial company. It was the biggest. It had the best finances, so it has the less likelihood of going bankrupt, and it has the stronger likelihood of lasting. That's why I jumped into it. And guess what? I did not, and I do not diversify in airline stocks. Why don't I diversify in airline stocks? What sense does it make? Why buy Southwest, Delta, American, uh, cruise lines, and all that, knowing that they're all kin to each other? When they go down, all of them are going down. I might as well find one big boat, get onto that boat, Southwest, that's it, go on to another industry. That's me. That's my take. Because you could also be into so many places at too many places at one time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be tonight's quick episode. The airline stocks are up 50% in 30 days, and you're asking, is it too late to get on board, to get a ticket and get on board? I think right now, as long as the government has a monetary policies benefiting Southwest and Delta, I can't speak about the other guys. I know Southwestern Airlines. I know Southwest and Delta Airlines. I know their deals, and I think it's going to be some bankruptcies. And I think that Southwest and Delta will be around when the smoke clears. And I think that the government has a invested interest in their success. And I think with that backing, I think it's still some room to grow. Southwest Airlines, I believe, was at $60 before the pandemic came in February or March. Not sure. I think Delta was up about $60 too, 50, $60 range. Right now, I think both of them are around about $30 right now. 30 to $40 right now. So it's still a little room for growth. I don't think it's too late to get your ticket. Get it? Not that I'm recommending you get a ticket, but that's just my thought process on grabbing a ticket for the airline companies, right? Is this something I believe in? I never owned the airline stock before all of this happened. I just looked at a little opportunity. Follow the money, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the monetary politics. But anyway, that's going to conclude tonight's episode. It's, it's going to conclude tonight's episode. I thank you guys and girls for tuning in. My name is Prince Dykes. This is the Investor Show. Wash your hands. And until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me do around the globe. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. And thank you.